Happy New Year, friends. I hope 2023 has started off really well for each and every one of you. And for those maybe, if it has been a tough start, know that there's 365 more days, which can only get better. Um, Today, I wanted to talk about on that thread a hurricane, for example, or a typhoon, depending on where you're from. So, what does a hurricane or a typhoon do? It brings in its own energy. It has no care what is sitting in its path and where those things in its path are. Are they in a calm state? Are they doing certain things that are important? A hurricane just needs to release its own energy, as does a typhoon. And so, what it does is it brings that energy with fast and fury force, comes into the space that it needs to, wherever it flows, having no agenda. Sometimes a hurricane itself doesn't know where it's going, what it's doing, what path it's taking. It just simply is venting energy. I want to compare this to sometimes having humans in our lives, loved ones, who resemble a hurricane or a typhoon. And maybe they're normally calm people, but perhaps when hit by a stressful situation or maybe when things are not going their way, they almost resemble a typhoon or a hurricane. And what that means is they come in not caring this, the space that they have just come into. All they want to do is vent their own energy, and they themselves don't have an agenda of which way they're flowing. They just need to vent energy. So what do we do when we encounter such loved ones? It can be tough, especially if this happens constantly, because if you really think about it, there is no engagement in that space. There is no listening. There is no asking. There is only telling. There is only venting. And while they might be on this amazing wild ride and feeling good about it, it often doesn't leave the people and the things, the situations in the path of this hurricane person very well after the hurricane has left. So they come in, they tell you things, they move things around, they kind of, bring a lot of energy, a lot of force. This is how I'm feeling. This is how I'm not feeling. This is what's going on in my life. These are the things that happen. These are the people I talk to. Okay, I'm gonna leave by. And you're just sitting there going, what just happened? Did I get a chance to even say, hey, okay, tell me more about it? Or let's engage, or let's communicate, or do you want to ask me where I'm sitting at before you brought all this energy? What's my energy level at? That does not happen. So I feel like sometimes maybe setting a healthy boundary when this person, this loved one, is in this hurricane state, typhoon state. Maybe we want to have a little bit of distance, spend smaller pieces of time so we can rejuvenate our own energy and also allow the venting of that energy that they have just brought into our lives. That might help. I find it helps me quite a bit. But when we're unable to do that, say if it's someone that depends on you and you need to help them, constantly keep in the back of your mind, this energy that this person is bringing is theirs. They're not here to communicate with me. They're not here to engage with me. They're here for one purpose, and that is to vent their own hurricane energy, their own typhoon energy, and you just allow it. You can stay in the same state of your energy level, and that's what I choose to do often is I'll stay in my own energy level, even though it completely mismatches the hurricane person. It still works. Maybe for short periods of time, it still works. So please feel free to share if you have such hurricane people in your life. If you yourself become this hurricane person when maybe hit by stress, and perhaps comments on what is it that you do? What works for you when you're in that state or when someone in your life is in that state? How do you manage that kind of energy dumping to yourself and to other loved ones who may be in the same situation? Thanks for listening. Have a great day.